Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. We're here in Jackson looking at our cargo port that we detailed up in the last episode, and we can see it is starting to function as we have boats bringing in food and some of these horses coming in to pick up that food and bring it into the city of Jackson. And what I want to do this episode is get some more production chains going and deliver some more goods to this cargo port. So the line we're going to look at today is construction materials, and here we have this quarry right down the road from this construction materials plant. And what we're going to do with this is take the construction materials from here, and I think we'll bring them over to this port where we'll then truck them to Scottsdale. I don't think a train is a good idea yet at the moment because this distance is a little far for the trains we have at the moment. A lot of the trains we have are pretty weak and slow, so bringing them back to the coast here and having it come up the river to this cargo port is probably a slightly more efficient way to go about things at this point in time. Another thing that this construction materials plant opens up is connections to Downey over here, and I don't think there's any other cities in the immediate area that needs construction materials, so just those two cities. Mesa's a little bit out of the way and it has its own up here, which we could get to at some point later on. But for now, I want to focus on the connection from the quarry to the construction materials plant and then getting it over to the city of Jackson. So let's start off by connecting this truck station to the road. And we're gonna extend out the platforms a little bit. We should have done that when we placed it down, but that's fine. So now we have this down, we can get into detailing this area and seeing what this could look like. So to start this off, I think we're going to come through and flatten out a little bit of this area just so we have a nice even space to place down some assets. And we're going to clear the forest around here just to give us a clearer view of what's around. Alright, and now that we've done that, we can come through and place some of the large cargo buildings here. I think we'll go with all three of those. And then we'll come into our assets here. We are going to be using one of the steel buildings, as the quarry doesn't really have many buildings fit to sort of be large. There's only really one building, a part of the quarry industry, and it's not that big, so using some of these we can hopefully get this steel building to completely cover the storage buildings we have here. I don't think there's any side doors, which kind of stinks, but I think we'll go with this. We'll center it up right along here. And that doesn't look too terrible. We might add like a little road that comes over to the door here and maybe something that comes over here, but we have our buildings covered and we can start to place more of the quarry details around here. So I think the first thing we're going to do is come through and paint some rock around in the area, as this is a quarry, so it's probably pretty rocky terrain. Unfortunately, the trees sort of block us from painting rock everywhere, so we might need to clear out a little bit more of an area. But I think even just adding a little bit that comes out of the boundary of the quarry makes it look just a little bit more natural and like it belongs in this area. So we did get rid of a good amount of trees in this area, and next I just want to rough up the terrain to make it look a little more natural, sort of like they've carved into a mountainside a little bit, so we can raise up a little bit of this area. Maybe we'll paint hints of some other materials so it doesn't look so static. I think that's starting to look good. And then next all we need is to start putting in some other details and assets in this area. Alright, and after some detailing, adding in some assets, this is what we have. So we've detailed up this area, so we have a little mound here with rocks all around. Makes it look like this is where all the rocks are that they're mining. We added some of the equipment just sort of around here, one of the buildings, just to make it seem a little bit more alive. I wish we had construction vehicles, or if I could maybe find what this asset is. I don't know if I have that anywhere, or I don't even know if I know the name of that, but that would have been cool to place in here somewhere. But I still think this area looks good. We have a bunch of stone piled up next to the building. We added a sign to the building just to give it a sort of sense of identity and to spice up this wall here since there's no doors or windows really. And then we added all of like supplies and other random stuff over here, as well as some taller lamp posts, since I imagine this area would probably be pretty well lit, especially at night with all this heavy machinery running. So now I think we're ready to head over to the construction materials plant over here and start to get this functioning. So firstly, I think we're going to grab this road and bring it over to connect up somewhere over here. The terrain seems to be a little hilly, so we're going to do this in short segments so we're not completely tearing up all of the land. And I think that does just fine. And then we're ready to get things going over here. So we'll place down a truck station right across the street. We'll get that going right about there. I think that looks good. It lines up with the road that runs into the industry. And we can begin to make this area look a little nicer. So really quickly before we get over there, I did find this asset while I was looking for things for the construction materials plant. So we just placed that down, and I think that ties the area together quite nicely. Alright, so the first thing we do is cover these construction buildings with this building here. And I chose this one because it looks nice. We don't want to keep using the same buildings for everything because they'll get a little obvious, but what I like about this is that it leaves these platforms open, so as things begin to wait and as they fill up here, we'll actually see it populate this platform. And this is right up against the building edge, so we shouldn't really see any clipping when this starts to fill up. And I think it does look good, and we scaled it up quite a bit, so this door that would probably be for people looks like it would probably be more for vehicles, so we just brought a road right up to it, and I think it looks quite good just like this. Alright, so we've added some buildings here. We've added this one. Looks like a nice production building, helps sort of hide this a little bit. And then we added this one just to sort of help tie it in over to the construction materials plant. And so the next thing we need to do is maybe just add some storage assets, and then this area should be good to go. So now I think this area is pretty good to just leave now, and all we have to do is put a cargo port probably right here since we already have a road coming over here, and then we can set up our port to head over to the Jackson port. So we'll grab this cargo harbor, make it a large one, and we'll place this right here. And for this one, we'll do very minimal detailing as there probably wouldn't really be... This wouldn't really be that big if it's just for something short and quick. Maybe if we start shipping out more goods, if we ever get this machine's factory going up, we might do this up a little nicer, but honestly, I think this is just leaving it how it is now is just fine. So we'll leave this like so, and we'll get a road depot down somewhere. I think we might just put it right next to our harbor here just to make it look a little bit busier, a little more interesting. So we'll place that right there, and we can get some of our horses going. So we'll start out, we'll get 15 horses going from the quarry down to the construction materials plant. Then we can grab a few more horses. We'll probably go just a bit less at probably 14. And quickly, I forgot we need to add a truck station down here to get these goods to the port. So we'll just plop that down there. That's more than fine. I'm okay with it. And then we'll come from the construction materials plant down to here. And then all we have left to do is come over to our shipyard. I believe we have that over here. And we can get a few ships running on that line. So I think we'll continue to go with these Regi ships. We'll get 3 more of those. And then we can get those running from this port up the river to the Jackson port. And then the final leg of this whole journey is getting a truck stop probably right here in Scottsdale, since construction materials will probably expand this way since there's tools up here and residential over here. We'll place that truck stop there, and then we can get a few of our horses yet again. We don't need that many. Let's just go with 4, and we'll have those take the construction materials from this truck station over to the truck stop in Scottsdale. So if we've done everything correct, we should start to see this quarry producing some stone, which it seems like it is. So that's good, and all we have to do now is just wait for the stone to make it to the construction materials plant, and then the construction materials to get down here and shipped all the way over to Scottsdale. And I don't think we're going to see that in this episode because we are going to end it here. I'll let it run for a little bit between episodes so we can see if this is making us a profit at all. But for now, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.